Fraser. Fraser to the show.
This is the story of my life, man. A lot of people call me Fraser. Call me Fraser. I don't know where this like J thing comes off. I think it's mainly because of that TV show, Fraser.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we always went with Fraser, like with like more of a Z sound. I don't
know. Anyways, welcome to the show.
Yeah, top quality intro. Thanks, man.
Top quality intro. Yeah. What's your name
again? Yeah.
Anyways, let's for people who may not know, could you kind of give a quick little introduction to yourself and where you work at right now?
Yeah, so my name is Corbin Fraser. I am the group product manager at Bitcoin.com, or primarily like the Bitcoin.com wallet, the Bitcoincash register. I basically just help make sure that the product gets from A to B and get to a point where they're profitable for the company, and that the features are for the users, and that we're building cool stuff for people to use, whether it's on Bitcoin Cash or it's on Bitcoin or it's on SLP. We're just trying to make stuff better for crypto users.
Gotcha. So, yeah, I mean, obviously the title of this show right now is about the Bitcoin.com wallet. So you're obviously involved in more than just that, correct?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the Bitcoin.com wallet stuff is kind of like the core of the business, and at least in terms of like our financial services within the company. I think the Bitcoin.com wallet has been. Well, I mean, you guys know we relaunched the new wallet in January of 2020. So it's now been out since, for like, I guess 11 months now. It's almost December, so like 11 months. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, we're just trying to kind of iterate on this thing to make it better, make it user-friendly, trying to make the most, fast user-friendly Bitcoin wallet available. And we've got some new features that we recently put out. The big one being that like, we're kind of internally called a feature. The whole idea is that you can send, Bitcoin Cash to email addresses, to Telegram chats, to Twitter DMs, to whatever kind of chat app you got on your phone. So, yeah.
Gotcha. And so obviously Bitcoin.com is in Tokyo, but you obviously requested this nice country music in the background right here. So you're obviously not from Tokyo. So when did you move out there? How long have you been working there?
Yeah, I'm currently in Vietnam. Still listen to country music. Originally, I'm from Saskatchewan in Canada, which is like north of North Dakota. So like Fargo type country. Yeah, real flatlands. It's a beautiful area of the country. It's just not kind of a drive-through country. A lot of people kind of don't usually stop too often in it, but it's a good kind of country vibe. My family had a farm north of Regina, Saskatchewan. That's the one I think you guys maybe in California you guys kind of giggle about.
Yeah, I was like, I think I heard you right.
Deadpool kind of made some jokes about Regina, and then for a while they were even trying to like build like a Deadpool statue in Regina to like honor the fact that we were like noticed by like Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't build it, fortunately. That would have been weird, but yeah, it's kind of real small kind of bumpkin country, but it's fun part of the country to be from. But yeah, I moved to Japan in 2016. Yeah, somewhere around late 2016. Ended up getting hired at Bitcoin.com right at the peak. Like I walked into the office and I think Bitcoin was trading at 18,000, something like that. And so it was like right around December I got brought in, and then we were just watching the BTC price creep up to like 20K, and I'm like the new guy just watching this stuff all go down. But I was already into crypto since like 2013, but kind of being around Roger and some of the early guys from Bitcoin.com was just like this like weird, fish out of water kind of scene. You walk into this office filled with a bunch of, at the time it was only a handful of guys. Like I guess I was one of the early guys there, but it was kind of a interesting vibe to just walk into this and be like surrounded by people who kind of talk your language, in terms of the whole idea of like cash and sticking it to the government and all the fun stuff that kind of crypto brings out.
Yeah, for sure. Andres Brecken says hi in the chat.
Hey, Corbin, how's it going, man? I miss you.
Yeah, that is always an interesting feeling when you first get around like people that talk your same language kind of thing. It's like, I mean, especially in real life, like you can have these people that you talk to like online all the time. And you like go into really deep topics, and then all of a sudden you like are thrust into real life, and you're just like going with the flow of it, and like feels so. I mean, good. I mean, it's just like such a unique thing, and it's like, wow, these people actually exist. They're not like figments of my imagination.
For sure. And I think like when I moved to Tokyo, it was like, you know, I didn't know many people in Tokyo. Actually, I don't think I knew anyone in Tokyo. And just like me kind of, yeah, I think leaning more towards this, like the nerddom of crypto was like, it was easy for me to just be like, okay, I'm going to jump into some of these crypto meetups and see if I can find some people that, you know, speak my language and kind of like don't see me as kind of like this tinfoil hat wearing like conspiracy theorist who's like trying to overthrow governments with cryptocurrency and, you know, talking about private banks and how all their money's going to shit and, you know, saying how like crypto is going to change the world and, you know, that they're all idiots for not getting involved, you know. And, yeah, so I started going to those meetups and I met a bunch of great guys from the Bitcoin meetup. At the time, there was only the BTC meetups. It was like, yeah, a lot of like Ken Shishiro and actually it was the first one I went to. Roger was there, and I was just like, what the fuck, you know? It was like one of those weird like, you know, I'd seen Roger in some documentaries, and I already, you know, knew him by name, and I think most people in early crypto kind of knew who Roger was, and yeah, just hanging out at the bar, chatting to people, you know, drinking water because Roger's not a big drinker. He just kind of hanging out, chatting to people about Bitcoin. And I'm just like, you know, deer in headlights, wondering what the heck's going on. This is crazy. And, you know, I remember looking around being like, I had this umbrella because of the pouring rain outside. Yeah. And then he's like, what are you doing standing there? Put your umbrella in the corner. Come hang out. I was like, okay, cool. And, yeah, got to kind of like just chatting to some like ordinary crypto guys that were just, yeah, spoke that language and had similar vibes. It was like, yeah, I think crypto does bring this cool community together where the more kind of people that live on the fringe of like whether it's money or tech, they kind of like chat and shoot the shit. And,
yeah,
you know, fun.
Yeah, definitely. Roger is actually in the chat and he says, "We love you, Corbin."
Thanks, Roger. Love you.
So yeah, lots of love for Corbin. I don't think I've ever seen somebody's name so much in the chat when I interview them. So yeah, let's talk about the wall a little bit. So as you can see, it's really hard to actually see the watermark on the stream actually. So that's actually
Perfect.
awesome. So
Perfect.
There's a watermark. Actually, you know what? I don't think it's the way it captures it. There's no watermark at all. Anyways, that's awesome.
We scammed him.
We scammed him. If you capture this software to OBS, this watermark goes away. Okay.
Great.
Yeah. So this is the Bitcoin.com wall, and obviously you can see right here. This was $100 a couple days ago. but besides
price does that. You know,
yeah.
I can't. You know, we do a lot of great stuff with the wallet, but we can't control the price yet. So
yeah. Yet that's an upcoming feature. Well, yeah, if you just pretend like the last week didn't happen, then it doesn't matter. So
we do actually have a button that we jokingly call the pump it button, but it doesn't actually make the money go up. It's just brings a lot of users back into our wallet. So you guys have probably seen that when you get a push notification, that talks about the price. That's actually one of our guys. His name's Jordan. Really nice young man, and has the honor of hitting the pump it button and yeah, kind of bringing things to bringing people back in and hopefully getting people to kind of buy a little bit more or send a little bit around. It's kind of a fun point of the day. Every few days in the week, we get to send out a little bit of an update to everyone about the prices and kind of encourage them to kind of come back, check out the wallet.
I'm sure like the fingers just like hovering over waiting for BTC all time high. Like, oh,
yeah, everyone's kind of like terrified for that one. And actually it was funny, like we just with the prices and stuff going up, like we're definitely noticing like our infrastructure it's taking some beatings just in terms of people coming back in. I think now that so-called bulls are running. It's yeah, we're definitely seeing a lot of action in terms of activity. Like that.
Yeah, cool. So let's pretend like this is my first time opening this wallet, and I don't,
Cool.
but I obviously have money in there already. So first thing you may notice is Bitcoin Cash is the top one. Is that on by default? Is Bitcoin Cash on top by default?
Yeah, yeah. We we're hardcore Bitcoin Cash users. Everyone in the company, is paid in Bitcoin Cash. This is I think we jokingly call it dog fooding, and I think other people have called it that too. But the whole idea is that you got to be able to eat your own dog food, and if we're getting paid in Bitcoin Cash and using Bitcoin Cash on the regular basis, then it does kind of encourage everyone in the company, whether they are like diehard Bitcoin Cash guys or somewhere in between, like just a general crypto user or like even some no coiners. Like we, believe it or not, we do actually employ some people that probably don't hold a whole lot of crypto, but allowing people to get paid in Bitcoin Cash every month does encourage everyone to participate in kind of using the wallet, using different exchanges to kind of find out where some of these pain points are that normal crypto users kind of come across, and new users. I think is the big thing, is like if you're new to the space and then your first time having to potentially sell some cryptocurrency, it becomes this like, oof, this is a bit of a learning curve, and it does allow us to kind of, I guess, get a little bit more feedback to improve our products and services and try to make things easier for new users. But yeah, you're asking me to give you a walkthrough, I guess, of the wallet, right?
So let's do it. I'm sure you've seen it, but David Bond's friend, he like, it was literally his first time ever using Bitcoin. He was like going through the wallet, and it was really nice.
It's great.
It's always
it was good.
I mean, I'm sure that's like super valuable to you guys.
Yeah. Actually, it was funny because I was bugging David. I was like, man, anytime you find a new user that you can get them to record and you can like let them just play around with it, and this stuff is like invaluable information for us to see how new users behave, because it's kind of what we're trying to gear our wallet towards. Like Electron Cash has got the market cornered for like hardcore crypto users of Bitcoin Cash, and I think there's like a serious need to just make a wallet that has some of those advanced features, but makes everything a little bit easier for like new users to come in and kind of level up to that point where they're a little bit more, I don't know, advanced enough to kind of feel confident in doing things like actually selecting their own addresses, doing cash fusion, and doing some more things along those lines. But yeah, I thought that video was awesome. I love seeing people use the app for time. It gives our designers, it gives our engineers kind of a fresh set of eyes to say, we can do this better for sure. Let's come back and revisit that now and make it easier for new people.
Cool. Could you do me one favor? Could you perhaps move your microphone a little closer if it's just like in your computer or something? You just kind of are breaking up a little bit.
Move closer, move towards my microphone.
Yeah, either you or the microphone, just because it like kind of fades out a little bit. So.
Okay. Any better? Test 1, 2, test 3, 4.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's good. And so, what were some valuable things from that video?
Yeah, I think a lot of the stuff that we were kind of seeing is just the confusion with like. I think onboarding itself is kind of always one of the most painful points for new users coming in. It's like, where do I start? How do I do this? Like, I think this is something, actually, Roger's in the chat, so he's gonna laugh at this. But in the very early version of the Bitcoin.com wallet, we had like a nice like 4 or 5 slide onboarding process, and he was like, I don't like it. Let's get rid of it. we need the people to get right into the wallet and move fast and let them kind of start playing around with it. And we've kind of been doing some A/B testing to allow more like, like not everyone has the benefit of having Roger, right beside them when they get their first wallet, and like walk them through a little bit and explain how everything works. So yeah, we've been A/B testing a little bit with some of these like better onboarding processes for new users that come in fresh from like the Apple Store, fresh from the Google Store, to be able to kind of quickly read, what's the difference between the BTC, BCH, why would I want to get into crypto? Is the whole idea of it being like a way to permission money without intermediaries, and kind of giving people the quick high level and then letting them quickly get into the wallet to just start playing around with it. It's something we're still kind of trying to improve on. And think that video really did a good job at just highlighting that like new users, it's very easy to confuse them, both in terms of like communication and language. So, I think we're currently looking at a lot of the like language that we use to make it as, I don't know, I guess is less fear inducing and less kind of confusion inducing, and trying to just make things like it's easy for people in crypto to start using technical terms like SLP and receiving address and like things like that. But for normal users, it's just like, okay, I have an account and I have a wallet app. They don't understand all of these like technical terms of like even tokens is like kind of like 4 steps removed from like the average user who's totally brand new and just is like, I've heard of Bitcoin and that's the only thing I know. And that's the main reason why we're still supporting Bitcoin is that, obviously Bitcoin has still the largest market cap. It has our largest user base, but there's only so much you can do with it. And by allowing people to try out Bitcoin, they also have this really interesting kind of experience where they realize that there's some flaws in BTC that make it kind of a pain to use. And the hope is that we can kind of gently nudge people to say, try out Bitcoin Cash, try out some of these other cryptocurrencies that are, easier to use or cheaper to send, are just as useful, just as, scarce, have all of the properties that you want from BTC with all of the user experience that you kind of expect, but you don't get. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think, that those types of videos, those like onboarding videos, like I said, very valuable for our design team and for our engineers. We were sharing those around the office, and everyone was like, "Yeah, let's take some notes." There's a lot of things we can do better now in next few versions.
Yes, for sure. And so, you may see on my screen here, I have a couple sent via links on here.
Mm-hmm. And I see that.
That's like the newest feature, which is really cool. And so I'm gonna send some Bitcoin Cash and do the shareable link. And I'll give you. I'm sure you know this feedback already. So like, I'm gonna put. I just got donated $5. So I'll put $5 in this link, and then like here it says slide to send. It should just be like slide to copy or something, right?
Yeah. Slide to create the link or something like that. Yeah, I think we can probably get a little bit more kind of creative with language again, like you said.
You don't need an account to use the wallet. Yeah, that's always the funny thing. And so there's like, I guess I can click share right here, right?
Yeah, I guess it's probably not. Is it not screen sharing that because it's like it's an Android dialogue, right?
Yeah, it just says your payment has been sent to, and there's like no link here.
Mm.
And so
yeah, yours doesn't show up with a dialogue on top of the.
No, it
Android. Like I'm not sure. Is the screen sharing thing just not showing it up?
No, I've never gotten that dialogue. And so what I've had to do is just close it, and then I like open the link thing again, and then it's right there.
Okay, so maybe you might have found a nice little bug. I'm hoping maybe a couple of the engineers are watching and take a look. Any idea what Android version and
which one is it?
You're on?
S. Frick, I always forget which one this is. S10 plus? No, it's maybe 20 plus. It's one of the newer phones. Anyways, I'm gonna put this link in my chat, and so we can have somebody claim it. Maybe Tal will get it back, and then send it right
back. I guess I don't know if you can see mine, but this is what you should be seeing when I slide to create a link. Then it gives you the Android share dialog, and then you can use that share dialog to send it to like a Telegram chat or Slack or WhatsApp or anything like that. So I'm not sure if maybe it's just that Android version or what's going on there, but
it must be. I never gotten that share. And so,
we definitely have bugs in, like we're not, we always, and actually it's funny, Roger's probably our most diehard kind of bug tester. I think I hear from him almost every night around midnight where we get a new batch of Roger bugs and we have a special pile for Roger where he comes up with something new and I'm like, oof, gotta fix that one.
And so that link actually got claimed like right away. And so I didn't even get a chance to like say you click check status and it says like, this is unclaimed. It was claimed right away. And so
sneaky
I feel like something like this has existed before, but I don't really I can't like put my finger on it. Like Cause like,
Yeah, like
yeah, go for it.
I think like when we were building this, I don't think we were like really referring to any other wallet implementations or services that had this. It was more of just like we knew that the whole idea of gifts.bitcoin.com. If you guys haven't used that, go try gifts.bitcoin.com. It's like a great way to just batch create these little paper tips that you can give out to waiters or friends or whatever. And Roger and Dennis love that idea of it being like this onboarding tool, because best way to get people into crypto is to just give them some.
Mount Gox gift codes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've got gift codes, and you're more likely to get the wallet to play around with it once you've got a buck or two, right?
Right.
And usually, the more money you have, the more invested you are to actually care about what the price is doing and what's going on in this whole tech field. So we were looking at gifts and said, like, can we bring some of that functionality into the wallet? And we were saying, well, gifts at the end of the day is basically just it's a paper wallet. So it's like a BIP39 private key that you can sweep. And we were kind of saying that this would be a cool feature, that if the wallet could create these private keys and then share those as like a deep link. So I guess for those of you guys who don't know about deep links, it's like a special format of link that allows you to share like a common like URL, and then that basically interacts with the app. So you've probably seen that on like Reddit or Facebook. If you've ever opened up like Reddit on your browser on your phone, and then it always does that annoying pop-up that says like, do you want to read this on your Reddit app? And you're like, go away, I just want to read this quick thread. That's basically that button that they have is just a deep link where it opens up that page into the Reddit app. So we're kind of doing like a similar feature where the link is basically tied to an encrypted private key that allows the user to one tap sweep. So basically, anytime you're sending one of these transactions, doing like sending through email or sending through Telegram with these special links, they're basically transactions. So you're basically the user itself, the sender is creating this private key transaction.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's two transactions. So it's basically like anytime you're sending someone, and this is why it's more useful on BCH because of the low fees. But yeah, basically with this, you're sending the transaction, but what you're actually doing is you're just preparing the address into like this private key. So you're moving funds from your wallet into like a special private address that only you have access to in order to claim. And then what happens is it basically gets wrapped up inside this like deep link, which then gets shared out to the world, either in an email or on a chat bot or whatever it is that they're sending it out on. And then when the user taps that link, either the sender taps it or the recipient taps it, then what they're doing is actually another transaction. So they're actually sending that transaction from the private address into their wallet, whatever their default wallet is set to. So it's basically like a 2-transaction kind of on-chain process in order to do this. So I was trying to kind of come up with like an analogy that makes sense for normal people. And the closest I was able to get was, this is kind of like signing a check. So in the old days, you could write a check, say like $100. I got $100 check here.
Like
if I sign
a blank check, kind of. Yeah.
Well, more like it's already signed by me. It's from my bank account. And I've got it's a signed copy that basically got $100 on it. So it used to be that you could take these checks and go to like a grocery store, and they would just take the money, and you'd be able to buy groceries with your check kind of thing. And anyone who has access to that check can basically deposit it because it's already been signed by the bank holder or the bank owner of that bank account. So it's kind of the closest I've been able to come up with, is that it's like a pre-signed check that you can give to anyone. Anyone has access to claim it. You can send it in a chat, and then someone can claim it. You can send it in a private PGP email, and then the recipient can claim it. You can send it in an ordinary plain email. Most people's emails are protected, with like 2FA on Gmail and things like that. If they're clever. If you're not using 2FA on Gmail, please do that, everyone. But it's just an easier way to kind of send money without having to do that awkward dance where you're like, hey, Colin, I owe you $5. Can you send me a Bitcoin Cash address so that I can pay you $5? And then it becomes this like 3-step process just to being able to give you money. Whereas if I already have you on Telegram or I have you on Facebook, I can just be like, here's $5, enjoy. You know?
No, that's awesome. Yeah, it's awesome. And so there's 2 questions in chat, and I think they're kind of similar. Are there any code samples or docs available regarding this type of transaction?
At the moment, there's not. We haven't really done too much on the public documentation of how this kind of works. We've got some private documentation on it. We'll probably be releasing some more information on this soon. We'll probably do something on read.cash to kind of explain the whole thing a little bit more in detail for like the technical nerds, because at the moment this feature only works with the Bitcoin.com wallet, so it's not like something you'd be able to just take this link and make it work with Electron.
Right.
Or in any other wallet for that matter. But I kind of see this as like for the wallet, it's kind of like a growth opportunity for us, in the sense that any one of our users now has the ability to pay back friends or family and send them a little bit of crypto. And ultimately that helps our total wallet installs, which of course allows us to potentially earn more revenue by allowing people to buy or swap in the Bitcoin.com wallet. Also, by the way, swaps are powered by Sideshift, so thank you, Sideshift and Andreas Brecken, who might be still watching.
Wait. Can I use it if I'm in the U.S. though? Through your wallet?
Can you use what? Swap?
Sideshift.
Legally, I don't know.
Well, like if I go to their website and I'm in the U.S., I can't do it unless I, move to Canada for a couple minutes. But I guess I'll have to try that. Interesting.
Yeah, give it a go. Give it a go. Yeah.
And then, go ahead.
But yeah, I think like with this whole send feature that we've kind of built is it's primarily like our, really first kind of big attempt at just making a feature that's kind of geared more for like new users and less for like the hardcore crypto users. But the cool thing is though that the hardcore crypto users can benefit from this as well. Just by being able to make sending and stuff easier. I mean, I think there's going to be some big improvements as well coming to this. We've got another hotfix release coming out, I think, on Monday or Tuesday.
Nice. And it's cool. Yeah. It's cool with the link too. I mean, like if they don't claim it, you can like take the money back, which is really important.
So something we're looking at doing as well is being able to notify the user if they haven't claimed it in a few days. So this way, like if you send 5 or 10 of these things out to your buddies and only 1 or 2 of them actually claim it, then being able to get like a push notification to say, hey, 3 of these links haven't been claimed. You might want to reclaim those, and kind of nudging people to make sure that they're not like letting money just disappear into the ether.
Yeah. And so another question, are you guys planning to open source your wallet? I know it was at one point, but then.
Yeah. So the old wallet is still open sourced. The old Cordova wallet. So yeah, you can still access that from our Git repo. At the moment, this one is not, but we're working towards that. A lot of the need for us to get to that point where it's like FOSS, boss open source kind of, we do have to kind of deal with a couple of legal things, because we do have, I guess just for some context. So our wallet supports these private hardware generated wallets from HTC devices. If you have an HTC, it's called an HTC Exodus. It's kind of like a crypto-enabled phone. And for a little while, there was a few of these phones that were kind of coming out when, I think this was like 2018.
Yeah.
But basically, because we support some of their code, we can't open source their stuff. So we basically have to like legally make sure we're in compliance with any of the partnerships that we've got that support some of these other partners. And in order to do that, we just have to deal with a bunch of paperwork stuff to make sure it's all kosher. And then ultimately we just need to make sure that everything's as documented as possible for everyone. So it kind of comes down to resources, where we're like a pretty small team, and we pull off, a couple guys to get everything to the point where it's like good to be open source. It means that we can't be building new features. We can't be building features at least as fast. So kind of comes down to like priority.
Right.
I think the number of users that we have that want or that have asked it for it to be open sourced is pretty small in comparison to the users that are just using it.
Right.
But that's not to say we don't want to support open source. For sure we do. I think we'll get there probably in the next. I don't know. I can't put a timeline on it, but I'd say probably in the next year you'll probably start seeing more stuff from us in terms of like new Git repos and things like that kind of show people a little bit more under the hood, how everything's working. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, Bitcoin.com is still always trying to support as much stuff open source. I think we launched like SLP Lite, which was this cool kind of SLP transaction builder. And actually, that was the thing that we worked with the SLP Foundation on to ultimately help Tether launch on SLP, which has been quite popular. So yeah, you know, we're doing that. We've got a few other open source repos as well for like, yeah, tons of other stuff for like paperwallets.bitcoin.com. There's, yeah, quite a few other things in there as well. So
Cool.
ultimately, the goal is still to get there. It's just comes down to time, people, and, you know, priorities.
Yeah.
But I think we'll get there.
Cool. And so one other feature, I think I want to say Crescent Cash did it first, but don't use that wall. But the instant send feature is really cool. I used it in Australia on Crescent Cash, and it was featured in Hayden Otto's video he just put out where he bought like a $1,300 bike using it.
Saw that. Very cool.
And so basically what we're going to do, I'm going to do like an invoice for like $1 or something, and I'll scan it and we can show people. So the lightning icon right now next to my BCH wallet is the instant send thing because I just turned it on. And so put up an invoice to your webcam, and I'm
okay.
We'll show them.
How much can I ask for?
I think I put my limit at 100. Maybe I should put it down a little bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say I might be able to rob you blind here, but how about I do a 10 cent? Can you afford 10 cents?
Yeah, I think I can do that.
You're good with that? Okay.
All right, so scan a QR code and then let it focus, and then there it goes. Boom.
Boom. Got it.
Nice. That was awesome.
Sweet.
I mean that just felt really cool.
Yeah, you know, it's funny when money just kind of feels like popping bubble wrap. I think that's kind of what we all kind of like want to focus on, is just making sending money an enjoyable kind of, you know, fun to send. It's fun to give. If it's like money that is tied to banks and is tied to governments and is tied to like, I don't know, PayPal and goofy like permission system.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was I think, well, it kind of might have been unresponsive, but I'm pretty sure it went through. Yeah, it went through. Yeah, I mean, I literally got like, not to be like super cheesy, but I literally got tiny chills because like I literally just like went like that and just like it literally felt like money just like went through my computer screen. Like,
yeah,
it's so wild.
Yeah.
Like such a weird.
It's really funny that it still brings a smile to my face. You know, sending money over video. It's funny, like usually when we're doing interviews with new candidates, one of the things we try to do is like when I'm chatting to these guys, trying to make sure that like if we're potentially going to hire someone new, just like, well, did you download the wallet? And then if they did and they show an address, I'm usually like quick to, you know, send a buck or two.
Yeah.
And usually it's just like they get this weird like face meltdown. They're like, you could do that?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you do it through a camera. You know, we just did it. I didn't even have to like. It's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of, I literally bought some camera equipment from some guy in Australia, and like I was like, "Do you do crypto, please?" And he's like, "No." I was like, oh, "Whatever." So I had to go through like this thing called TransferWise, and it like takes a bunch of fees and all this shit, and like literally just do an address. And so, oh yeah, I missed this one. I'm supposed to ask you about your handstands.
Oh man, I've been rocking these handstands.
I mean,
so
you got room over there? Can you?
I don't know if I should be doing one in here. I'll probably knock something over. It's not. I don't have a huge apartment, but yeah, one of the things I was doing during this these COVID lockdowns, you know, some people were like drinking, and I was like, I'm not going to do that. I'm gonna practice handstands because I got to fit in with all these hippies out here in Vietnam, and you know, I wanted to be able to go to the beach and hang out with the hippies, and for the hippies to be like, this guy, look at him, and. Yeah, so I just started doing these handstands, and my girlfriend, she was teaching me these like the elbow ones, you know, the yoga ones where you're like on your forearms. Nailed those ones day one. I was
yeah.
Like,
Nice.
Okay, let's give me something harder. And then started doing the full hands, and yeah, it's been fun. So now I'm like I wouldn't say I'm like an expert, but I can hang out now, and I go to the edge of the pool now and like do my handstands, and then eventually, you know, fall ass over tea kettle into the pool.
Very awesome. Proud of you.
Thanks, man. Feels good.
And so before we get back into Bitcoin stuff, somebody asked if you had to take out Roger in a jiu-jitsu fight, who would tap out first? I know the answer.
Definitely me, man.
Yeah.
I'm not a hardcore jujitsu guy. I went about 7, maybe 8 times. I was going with a guy from our office, and at the time I was weighing a little bit more. I used to be a little bit of a bigger boy. I packed on a little bit of weight. I was big fan of the craft beers at the time, and turns out those things are very high in calorie.
Yes.
So I turned into a big bloated mess, and he was like, "Man, you got to come out and lose some weight at this thing," and it killed me, man. Like jujitsu is probably one of the hardest workouts you can do, and it's like no weights. It's just like hardcore, like both strength and then cardio, and then the technical aspect of it. But yeah, it got to the point where I was just like, I'm not in shape enough to do this, so I'm gonna try to go back to just losing weight in the gym, and then maybe I'll try again once I'm like, able to not be a rolling Jabba the Hutt on the mat.
Yeah, I don't know if you know, but I do jiu-jitsu as well, and so I'm the one stripe blue belt right now, and so Roger said in the chat there's a YouTube video of him as a blue belt getting in a tournament against a brown belt. It lasts about 1 minute. Now he's the brown belt, so yeah, he would destroy me in a minute, which is like so true. I mean, like, so it goes white, blue, purple, brown, black, and like white you're there for 1 to 2 years, blue you're there for 2 or 3 years, purple is there you're there like 3-4 years, brown belt you're there for 5 years, and so you're not a black belt, so you've done at least like 10 years, maybe even closer to 15 years. So
but can you do a handstand? But can you do a handstand?
Probably not as well as you. I heard your entire Instagram is handstands.
Oh man, that's all I do now. Bitcoin and handstands.
Bitcoin and handstand. Do you ever do Bitcoin while you handstand?
I haven't yet, but you know what? I'm feeling inspired. Maybe this weekend.
That'd be a good post. You could do like showing like a QR code. Can you do
one-handed?
Yeah.
The sand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta have goals in life. So
yeah, that's it.
All right. So I got a list of stuff. So when is Cash Fusion gonna be in Bitcoin.com wallet?
You know what? Roger's probably asking the same question. He asks me this on a weekly basis, and I always have to do these awkward, like, soon, man. Like, we're getting there. I think, we've been still having a lot of these like technical meetings to try to get to that point where we can actually have it out. Like from a technical standpoint, Cash Shuffle would have been, had Cash Shuffle been the thing that BCH had been like, Cash Shuffle's good enough. Let's walk away. And we'll get there. And then that would have been a great thing for us because the way Cash Shuffle works is it's not reliant on Tor, which, from a privacy standpoint, is maybe not great, but from like a technical building it out standpoint is actually nice because Tor does create some potential lag issues. So I guess like just to give some background, one of the issues with Cash Fusion, it's not really an issue. It's a good thing that they've done it this way, but just from like the laws of physics is that when their pools are expecting you to send money, they expect everything to happen in a certain amount of time. And because the transactions have to go through Tor and all these other things, it does cause this like delay. So like if you're sending in a slow, let's say you're on 3G, you don't have like fancy 4G, you got some connectivity issues on your phone. If we were able to say, okay, this transaction, I'm going to allow it to be a fusion transaction, there's going to be a bit of a lag to the point where it goes from the client on the phone into the back end to, broadcast and then into Tor and then into the pool, that if it doesn't hit the criteria and get the transaction in enough time, then that user, that client would basically get kicked from the Cash Fusion pool and then they wouldn't be able to fuse their transactions for a while, which basically means that they no longer have access to the privacy features we're telling people they can use so easily. So it does kind of create this like usability issue from like an end user standpoint. So again, kind of going back to like us really focusing on new users, if we create kind of like hacky, shoddy features in the wallet that might work most of the time, but fail enough times that it creates this really bad experience, then kind of hurts the onboarding process for new users. It hurts our app rating, which ultimately hurts our total number of installs. It becomes this like weird thing where you now have to explain to users that you just got kicked from this pool. You might have to wait a while before you can actually fuse again. So you don't have access to your private funds until then. So we're trying to find some like better ways to improve the whole ability to do cash fusion, one of the things we've been toying around with is the idea of having like a companion app. So some of the guys have already kind of figured this out back in the cash shuffle days, is that what they would do is have like the private seed on their phone, on their bitcoin.com wallet, and then they have cash shuffle running in the background on their computer. And then anytime that they'd go out to spend, they'd, do a check for new transactions on their phone. And then that would basically allow them to kind of spend their shuffled money. But it doesn't really, there's still some security leak issues there where it doesn't make it like the most secure private way to deal with things, because you could potentially taint yourself with unshuffled coins. So one of the things we were looking at doing is like, how could that be built out with Cash Fusion to have like a companion app, whether it's like maybe it might be like a web wallet, or it might be like a kind of a desktop DMG or exe file that just allows you to kind of connect your bitcoin.com wallet to the desktop. And then while you're, browsing emails and doing your work, basically what's happening is your wallet's being fusioned. And then by the time you actually walk away from your computer to go use your phone, you're only spending the privatized funds and making sure that you're not able to deposit other unshuffled money into that wallet, things like that. Right. So yeah, a lot of this kind of comes down to us just trying to find better ways to do this in a more user-friendly format that keeps that privacy, which is the critical thing. Is like, if we create like a shoddy implementation of it that it's private 95% of the time, but there's that risk that someone could de-anonymize themselves, then suddenly, we're the bad guys for like building an inferior fusion product that, maybe hurt someone, whether it was like they were trying to keep their funds private from KYC, or who knows, maybe they're just buying some nose clams on the internet or something like that. But we just don't want to be responsible for people going to jail and we're like, yeah, it's totally private, and then all of a sudden they're like arrested because of us. So it's kind of like big pressure.
Yeah.
So we're still kind of working out the implementation details with, we're still chatting with Jonald and the team from Cash Fusion. We're also working with a guy named Shomari, who's the winner of the previous Bitcoin Cash hackathon. So real smart guy. Actually, he's from Atlanta as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, real cool guy. Actually, he'd be an awesome guy for you to have on the show if you haven't had him on yet.
Does he still live in Atlanta, or is?
I think so. I'm pretty sure he's from your area. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and he's he won the BCH hackathon. I think he originally comes from the Ethereum space, but yeah, he's been working on. I think he was working on causes.cash, kind of like I think it like wraps Flipstarter in a easier to use kind of UX sort of thing.
Right. Huh. Awesome. Cool. Yeah. I mean, you guys are obviously working on Fusion, and then you can be like, we're basically Monero.
Yeah. I think once we get it, it'll be a huge win for Bitcoin Cash. Because I mean, to me, and it's hard because on one hand, I'm like, I want to balance like the needs of the new users, but then I'm still like a crypto nerd at the end of the day. So I'm like, I want Cash Fusion. I want to be able to have private funds. I want to be able to like make sure that my bags aren't visible to government agents or people that are gonna try to rob me.
Or your ex. Yeah,
or my ex. Yeah. Got to be careful.
Yeah,
those ex-wives, they'll come after you.
She's watching that blockchain all the time.
She's like, I got his address.
Yeah. See, this one's obviously the change UTXO, and this one is obviously where he's holding all of his things. So, oh no, he fused. What are we gonna do?
Yeah, that's it. I think once we get it, it'll be an alimony nightmare for a lot of divorcees.
Yes. Another thing. So if I understand this correctly, your guys' address. So you guys do a HD wallet. So you like generate addresses based off a master public key. And is your guys' like address generation kind of a little bit wonky right now?
Yeah, we get a lot of people that kind of drop some turds on us because of this. And these are kind of like UX improvements that I think we can make for sure. At the moment, yes, we are an HD wallet, but we don't force users to have new addresses for each receiver, which drives a lot of the hardcore crypto people mental. But from from like a normal new user standpoint, again, going back to my like love of the new user who's like coming into the space and doesn't want to have like a brain aneurysm trying to learn this stuff. You know, if you tell people, welcome to Bitcoin, you're going to try out some of this Bitcoin stuff, and they're like, cool, send me some money, and then they get some money, and then all of a sudden their address changes. They're like, what just happened to my account?
Yeah.
You know, people still think like people don't think in UTXO terms; they think in account terms.
Right.
And I think in some ways that makes Ethereum very useful because it's just like you get one address, it's your account. On the other hand, it's not very private and kind of sucks in some ways. But for a lot of users, they kind of struggle to understand that, and it becomes this thing where we can have it auto generate new addresses for receive. But I think what we'll probably end up doing is putting that into the privacy settings. So if you go into the settings app, go into privacy, we'll probably have a toggle there eventually that allows people to say use fresh addresses all the time. At the moment, for people that are super privacy conscious, when you tap receive, you just have to hit that one extra, you know, arrow icon that generates a new address, and then they're able to start, you know, receiving from a new one. But from like a UX thing, like something we would hear from users often too was that they didn't want their address to change. So on the one hand, we had like some users that were like, I want my address to change every time. And then on the other hand, we got these other users that are like, I don't want my address to change because I'm running a nonprofit, or I want to keep all my funds on one address so that it's publicly accountable and I can go to explore.bitcoin.com, export the CSV, give that to my accountant, and then pay my taxes and be a good, you know, bootlicker.
That's right.
And, yeah, you know, all that stuff. So it kind of becomes this like, well, who do we want to appease more, the ultra privacy conscious people or the new users who are asking these things? And I think we'll probably get to that point where it's like opt in. Like, are you, you know, maybe it's like an onboarding process where it's like, are you a ultra privacy conscious user, or are you just totally brand new to the space?
Right.
And then we'll have some pre-selected like settings for like new users that are just totally brand new, and then users that are coming into the wallet maybe with like more crypto experience to say, okay, I want more privacy, so enable as many of the cool privacy things that Bitcoin can do and that your wallet can do. But again, we'll get there.
Yeah, that's a great idea, because like, I mean, people always say electronic cash is like, it's obviously like one of the best wallets for Bitcoin Cash right now, but it's like, it's not noob friendly. People are like, well, just do like a noob switch, right? But I mean, if you go the other way and take your new Bitcoin.com wallet and put the advanced switch on, that's awesome. So
I think the fact is like the advanced users of crypto, we'll get there like to the point where there's more and more advanced users as Bitcoin ages and as more people use it. But it does kind of prevent a lot of like utility if you immediately throw new people into the deep end, you're kind of screwing them. Like to the point where if you overwhelm a new user with like too much information and too much technical jargon, then immediately they're just like, man, Bitcoin's hard. I'm just going to go back to using Venmo, you know? And I think that's the opposite of what we want at Bitcoin.com. We want as many people to get into it and then hopefully level people up to the point where they can become as nerdy as Colin or, you know, anyone else.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. NFTs. I got
NFTs coming soon.
NFTs. Are they coming soon? I got that question. When NFTs?
Yeah, I mean, I think now that we're seeing a lot more people actually building the NFT stuff, like I think there's Into the Abyss? Is that
Into
what it's
the
called?
Sphere.
Into the Sphere. Wow, Abyss is a cooler name.
Yeah, maybe that'll be the sequel or something.
That's the sequel. Okay, hang on to that one, Joey. Yeah. I think they're doing some cool stuff with NFTs. I know.
It's Enter the Sphere. Sorry, not Into. Enter. All right.
Into the Sphere.
There you go.
Okay.
Enter the Abyss.
Sorry, guys. Like I think now that we're seeing more people doing stuff with NFTs, there's actually some really interesting companies that are doing some stuff behind the scenes. I probably can't talk about them too much, but yeah, there's an interesting company that's working on creating more things geared towards like the entertainment industry and building it around NFTs that are also going to be on SLP. So yeah, I think we'll be working as best we can to kind of get to that point where we support the parent and child functionality. At the moment, like I think we just don't burn the NFT, but you can't really send it out or anything like that. So you're kind of stuck using like Electron and some of these other. I'm not sure if there are other wallets that we're supporting.
Yeah,
Wallet.
I know that it's like a little bit different than like an actual SLP token because they can like go in groups, right? But Roger
Yeah.
did make a good point. You can already do NFT tokens on SLP. Just make sure one token with no mint baton. And
Yeah.
which, yeah, I think the NFT system, because this was JT that asked this question, was more of like when you,
Classic JT. He's always asking those questions.
always asking.
I know he's been wanting NFT for a while. Sorry, JT. We'll get there.
But yeah, I think it's like a group of things. So if you have like, for example, like three crypto kitties, they're all under your crypto
Yeah.
kitty folder or whatever. So
Yeah, yeah. Like I think the ability to group NFTs underneath like a parent, so like you can
yeah,
have like a collection. So like the idea would be like, if you have Pokemon cards that are NFTs and you have all the fire Pokemon underneath like a fire parent, and you've got your Charmander and your Charizard and all these other things, it'd be
right.
kind of underneath one group, which, I think there's definitely some interesting ways we can do that from like a UI UX point of view, to kind of make it a little bit more fun and useful. So I think we'll get there eventually. It just kind of comes down to like SLP, despite being like an awesome permissionless kind of token system, it's still not like widely adopted to the point where it's like, high priority. I'd love to see more people building more things on SLP to the point where it's like competing with Ethereum. I think it's getting there. And I think maybe with us supporting NFT, that'll help kind of pave some more inroads to kind of encourage more potential Ethereum NFT guys to try building out some of the stuff that they've been doing on Ethereum over on BCH. But I think it kind of comes down to like, building out, easier tools for developers to kind of get into, and then having more wallets and services that support them. I think that's kind of critical as well. So it's kind of like building out Rome before you kind of fill it with Roman people.
Yeah. And so David Bond just in the chat, and he said he can now finally scan QR codes from his camera roll. I don't know if that's
Yeah, the camera roll scanning feature is cool.
Is that-
David was asking, he's like, "When's this coming?" And I was like, "Man, it's coming soon. We're working on it." But yeah, so you can now do this cool send feature where if you tap into the send flow and
send.
And then tap
Bitcoin Cash. You kind of frozen.
You got it.
Say again.
And then if you tap scan QR code, and then in the bottom left,
there's
an image icon, and then from there you can grab your camera roll. So if you've got a photo of someone's QR code,
which I don't, so I'm not going to open my camera roll.
yeah. If you've got any nudies in there, you might want to not open that on screen.
Yeah.
On stream.
So.
Yeah, it's an easy way to kind of it's an easy way to play around with, like, particularly like if you follow like Akane on Twitter, she usually does a good job at like getting the restaurant owners a photo of them holding a QR code. So if you can get a tight enough crop on that QR code, you could save that image to your camera roll and then send it to that image, and then the image scanner will basically try to pick up the address and then send through to that address, which is super convenient if you're like just taking a screenshot of your receive screen and sending it around. So.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, because you generally would like more advanced users don't like send pictures of QR codes. Generally, they'll send, but like intermediate people, it's like
it's funny.
It's like, this is my address, and then just like take a screenshot and send it to you. So yeah, I mean that's just like a small huge thing, because it's like, because you're just like, oh, I can't open my Telegram and my Bitcoin.com all at the same time because I'm on my phone.
Totally.
Like, please just copy paste. Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And so somebody asks, is there SLP tokens? Yeah, bro, they're right here. See, I got some hugs in here. I got some appreciation. I have some thoughts. I have a shitload of SLPs. Obviously, I'm a collector. I have a bunch of thoughts and prayers tokens if anybody needs some thoughts and prayers.
Nice.
So
maybe you can share your SLP address. I'll try to scan it, and I'll send you some. I'll send you some bags.
All right, cash address. Oh yeah, click SLP down here.
I've got a special. Token wallet called Token Bags.
Oh, too bright.
Yeah. Hang on. Let me see if I can grab this.
Gotta go. Oh, it does. Oh, I'm putting my phone up to the screen. That's the dumbest thing I've done today. All right. I was putting my phone up to the camera when I got my phone mirrored on the screen. Okay. Did you get it?
I just sent you some mist.
Oh, yeah. I got the mist.
There you go.
I got the mist. Got 25 mist coins. Thanks for the mist, bro.
Yeah. What happened to mist? Is mist still going on?
Yeah, that's the one that does like the mining, right?
Yeah, it's like I thought it was a cool idea of doing like yeah, it was like some sort of proof of work kind of thing that allowed it to. I think you passed around the mint baton, and then anytime you found a
Oh
solve the
yeah.
problem, then you mint more tokens, and that would forward it back to you. It's kind of a
Yeah.
cool idea.
Yeah, I think that was
Yeah,
it. I don't know. I haven't been in there in a while, but yeah, definitely a cool idea for sure. For sure,
yeah,
for sure. Some other thing. You guys used to have multi-sig in your wallet. Now you don't.
yeah. We get a lot of flack on that. That one's on the coming soon list as well. We do have people working on that right now. It just kind of comes down to yeah, getting it right. Multi-sig's kind of very very complicated in the sense that there's a lot of like weird little edge case user interactions that you kind of have to build out in
Yeah.
terms of like if you and I are in a multi-sig together, um, then being able to like if I try to spend money, if it's like a 2 of 2, then it has to notify you to say, hey, do you want to allow this Corbin guy to spend some of your team money? Or if it's a 1 of 2, we need to deal with being able to still notify you that some money's been sent from the account, but you're not allowed to deny it basically. And then there's like it becomes infinitely a little bit more complicated with more cosigners. So if it becomes like a 1 of 2, it's not so bad. 2 of 2 is not so bad. But yeah, the more people you add, the more potential chance of failure, and then we do have to like worry about the scalability of it as well in terms of like being able to make sure that all those notifications and alerts and things like that in the app are going out
Yep.
safely. So I think we'll get there. It's going to be. I think originally we had kind of estimated that we would have it ready for. We were aiming for the end of this year, but it's not looking like we'll have it up before Christmas. So if anyone was kind of holding their breath, I do apologize, but you can use it still on the Bitcoin.com desktop wallet, which you can get still from like wallet.bitcoin.com.
Yes.
So you just have to import it there.
Somebody
Kind of
was
a pain.
asking about that. Is they say your web desktop wallet version is outdated? There's no SLP support.
Yeah, yeah. So you either get multi-sig and no SLP, or you get SLP and no multi-sig. Yeah, or and SLP. Yeah, however that works. But yeah, we probably won't be getting SLP into that old version. I think what we're working towards is kind of having eventually some sort of replacement for the desktop functionality. That's probably further down the road in 2021, but yeah, I think for the time being, you're just kind of stuck with the kind of old version of the wallet that runs on desktop, and you can still do multi-sig there. But if you're also like a hardcore diehard multi-sig user, you do still have the ability to like use it on Android since you can sideload. So you can sideload an old copy of the APK and just keep the multi-sig version going, at least for the time being. But I think we'll get there eventually. We've basically brought on some additional help to
Nice.
kind of finish this whole bigger project off, because it is a pretty big project and does require like considerable amount of testing before we can kind of release it to the wild sort of thing.
Nice. There was a very important question asked. When dark mode?
That's a great question. Yeah, actually, you know what? Maybe I can tell you. I'll give you a little hint as to what we were planning on doing for dark
Snap.
mode.
Okay.
Yeah. So this, I don't think anyone's heard this yet, but this is something we've kind of. It started off as a joke that we could do, and now I think we're actually going to do it. But yeah, we're thinking about tokenizing dark mode. It's just like having an SLP token that's just the dark mode token, and I liked it because it's DMT, which is a funny acronym, and. And yeah, once you receive some DMT, your app would change. But basically, it would be like you have to have the token in order to have the dark mode.
Ooh, juicy. I
So
like it.
yeah, so we're still playing around with it. We actually have it functionally working. It's just we need to make the dark mode look a little sexier in order for it to actually go to the wild. But I think we'll get there. It's just kind of one of those nice to have feature, not kind of like a core functionality feature. But I think it gets people excited, right?
That's
so
awesome. Yeah. Do you need like a full one? So if like somebody sends you like half of one, get it.
Yeah, not allowed. Yeah, it'd be a single digit only, and if you give it away, then you lose your dark mode kind of thing.
You're gonna have a market for dark mode.
That's it. It'd be a dark mode, darknet market.
Dark net market. I love it. That's hilarious. And so, you guys also have that merchant point of sale, right? The Bitcoin.com register app. And I believe,
the Bitcoin cash register. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that's the one that like Hayden uses all the time in Australia, right?
Yeah, Hayden's kind of the number one shill of Bitcoin cash register. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I mean, I've obviously used it there, and it was pretty seamless. So,
Yeah, like I think it's one of those things that like it's like I'm not sure how he does it. Like he onboards more people and more stores than probably anyone, and it's difficult. Like I've tried doing it. I've done it a few times. You know, convincing people to to use the Bitcoin Cash register. But it's kind of it's one of those things that like you have to be in a position where you can kind of educate the merchant and be willing to kind of follow up with them to kind of be their point of contact for support. In terms of like when they have these, you know, really ultra newbie questions of like, okay, what do I do with the money now? You know, I've got this crypto, someone paid me. Like, what's next, sort of thing. So I think, yeah, I'd love to see more adoption of the Bitcoin Cash register. You know, we're still hoping to kind of build out some more features with it in terms of like allowing people to swap to stablecoins and things like that, using that or having some better like companionship between that app and like the mobile wallet. But a lot of that stuff's kind of still in the works. I think there's like a few other companies too that are doing some, you know, great work in the point of sale space, like GoCrypto.com. Great guys, Dijon. I'm always pronouncing his name wrong. It's spelled like Dijon, like the mustard kind of,
yeah,
without. Really great guy. I think his name is maybe like Dan. Roger, maybe you can correct me in the comments. I don't know. It's a very like Eastern European name, but he's a cool dude. And these guys are like busting their butts in terms of like creating a kind of a multi-currency, multi-platform point of sale system. And yeah, I think they've been doing some great work. And they recently integrated their map listings to maps.bitcoin.com.
oh, nice.
So yeah, all of the listings that they end up onboarding automatically show up on maps.bitcoin.com. And yeah, I think they're doing a great job in terms of like providing more of that support and giving the merchant the ability to offload their crypto if that's what they want. The sad reality is like we'd love to see more merchants keep the crypto and kind of create this like closed loop system, but most merchants, they just, you know, they're happy to get new users and new customers, but they don't really care so much about crypto prices. They just want to pay the bills and keep the lights on. You know, if that means that they're going to market dump, so be it. That's fine by me. I know there's guys in like the BTC community who like see that as like a reason not to support merchant adoption, is that it creates sell pressure. I think Tone Vays said this once where he was like, yeah, you don't want merchants accepting because it creates a lot of sell pressure, which ultimately leads to like a lack of growth in the price. And it's like, well, that's why you're into crypto and you're fucked in the head.
Yeah. 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 So like how do we take that next step then? Like how do we close the loop of the economy?
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of like this interesting problem, because ultimately it's a multi-sided market, right? You've got to have merchants that are willing to accept it and enough users in the wild that have crypto to spend. And the whole issue that Visa had with this, you know, they had the same scaling issues and same with MasterCard in like the 70s, was like getting enough merchants to support credit cards and getting users with credit cards. It's a huge undertaking. There's this great book called Paying with Plastic. It was written in like maybe early 2000. Great book though, just on like the whole history of credit cards and how credit cards kind of came into existence and some of the scaling issues that they had in terms of like onboarding and getting people to the point where they're actually, you know, using it. I think like one of the interesting things that I think they covered was like I think it was 1973, but I might be pulling that year out of my butt. But AC Penney was basically like one of the first big stores that started accepting Visa, because as soon as Visa had like, I think it was 33 million users with credit cards, that's when they were like, okay, there's enough users in the wild to start accepting this. And I'm not sure what that number is for cryptocurrency. And I think it becomes kind of difficult to say, because if the merchant's only accepting one type of cryptocurrency, then they're limiting the total number of users that can spend simply because there's like this, you know, coin type. So it's not even like a Bitcoin Cash problem. It's more of like a crypto problem in general. And it kind of comes down to like this weird, you know, from like a new user standpoint, they don't really care what type of money they're spending. Like the merchant, they probably don't really care what type of money they're receiving. You know, like the merchant, they just want to get, you know, move product, make sales. And whether that merchant's accepting a blue cryptocurrency, a orange cryptocurrency, a green cryptocurrency, or whatever it is. They're just like, I don't care what it is, just give me the money and I'll give you the beer, or I'll give you the toast, or I'll give you the whatever it is that I'm selling you. And they're happy at the end of the day, and the user is happy at the end of the day. And I think I actually think that's why Go Crypto is kind of seeing it from a just accept everything and provide that easier off ramp no matter what the crypto is. And I think what they're trying to do is kind of a more scalable solution to this. Whereas like, you know, with right now with Bitcoin.com, what we're focusing on is a lot of Bitcoin Cash adoption, which is great. But I would say that like, you know, being more open to just allowing people to accept anything would make that product a lot better. It would probably make the users experience a lot better, make the merchants experience a lot better, so that they don't have to like say, oh yeah, we accept Bitcoin Cash, but we don't accept Dash. I think there's another point of sale app called AnyPay, also you know, accepting multiple cryptocurrencies as well, and I think they're doing a great job as well. So I think, you know, as we kind of look at these multi-sided markets and like some of the issues that kind of revolve around the ability to kind of get to that point where it's like a closed loop system, I think a lot of it comes down to like accepting more cryptocurrencies and being like less of a maximalist of any one. And ultimately, it's kind of like that rising tides lift all boats, or whatever it is. I think if more people are spending, receiving cryptocurrency, it's great for Bitcoin Cash, it's great for Dash, it's great for everyone. But I think it kind of needs to be done from a crypto industry standpoint and less from like one specific cryptocurrency. And I think in order to get to that point, it's going to require more people to get along. But the hardest part in cryptocurrency is getting these different tribes to just stop fighting and throwing shit at each other, and, you know, just worry about the end goal, which is, yeah, more of a closed system that doesn't rely on banks and intermediaries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I will agree with you. I will agree with you there for sure. And so we got some the DMT token idea is so good you could have a dark mode token faucet. We educate people on tokens. Yeah,
exactly.
Faucet, and, come on, we're trying to start a market here. You can't have a faucet in a market. Come on. Trying to get some. I'm trying to.
Our lawyer hates this idea, by the way. I think the worry of having a token that creates a secondary market and all of a sudden being like, I don't know, in the US scares the crap out of like lawyers. They're like, oh God, you can't do that. I'm like, nah, we'll see what we can do. Just do your lawyer stuff.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. It's just crypto stuff.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, just don't worry about it. It wasn't by us. We'll make Colin be the minter, and that way it's not out of us. Yeah. Colin, you cool with minting the DMT token? It's yours?
Man, I'll own this market. You got it.
yeah, cool. See, it's not a Bitcoin.com product. Yeah. Now it's a Colin product, and we just support it.
Baton me, bro. That's some funny shit. Yeah, do you have any last comments? You see, I know you're talking about, you know, whole coin unity thing, but Bcash.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a hippie in that sense. Like I think, you know, on the one hand, I love watching tribe wars. I think it's funny watching crypto people just eat each other alive, and I think the you know, the mischievous part of me is like, yeah, this is awesome. But then on the other hand, I'm like, God, we're never going to go anywhere if we just keep spinning our tires. You know, if everyone's just slinging mud, if you've got grumpy miners that are trying to attack chains, if you've got like, you know, I don't know, asshole developers that are all just saying who's a bigger developer or better developer, it's just like, I don't know. I think the ego function, or the ego in crypto is pretty ballooning, and it continues to grow. I don't see egos shrinking. And I think the only way to solve that is maybe when COVID starts chilling the heck out and people can start meeting in person to have, you know, a beer or a spritzer together, then maybe people will start being able to kind of get along better. I think there's a need, especially if BTC is ever, or if something is ever going to flip in BTC, it's going to require a lot of support from the alternative cryptocurrencies, whether that's, you know, Ethereum, BCH, Dash, and all these other things. But, you know, if I were somehow able to wave a magic wand, that's what I would do, is try to get the horde together to go after the king. You know, like, I don't know if you guys Do you ever listen to Hardcore History?
No, I don't.
Yeah, well, great podcast if anyone ever listens to it. But there's one episode where Dan Carlin's talking about the Gallic Wars, which is like, I guess, France and Germany, when Roman was like invading and basically fucking shit up. The only way that they stood a chance, was to basically get the different tribes to unite, and then try to take on Rome. And that was like, they managed to put in a good dent, but the only reason they were able to do it was because they stuck together and actually fought together. Whereas, the tribes that said like, we don't want to be a part of your commie mess, or we don't want to be associated with this other tribe because this tribe once, stole my wife and took my food. So I'm not gonna be a part of that tribe and this group of tribes because I hate, Dan or George or whoever else is there. And it kind of ends up being that they ended up being the first tribes to get wiped out by the Romans because they were just an easy target. So just dead, and the ones that were kind of sticking together actually stood a fair fighting chance. Now they all failed in the end, which is kind of the sadness. We don't want to do that, but I think if we can get more of the people in different cryptocurrencies to kind of rally together to kind of close some of these multi-sided market issues, to work together and share some, better community spirit, maybe there's an opportunity for them to kind of, close in a little bit more on those ratios of BTC, because certainly BCH isn't really making a big dent there. And I think I want BCH to kind of, I would love to see a flippening happen still. It's not looking like it's going to happen this year or maybe even next. And it's probably not going to be BCH that would flip in first. It seems much more likely that Ethereum would have a better shot. So I think a lot of it comes down to like just being more open to working with other communities. And if you're going to go after the king, you got to stick together.
Yeah, definitely. That's nice. That's nice. Before we go, Roger did say, let people make different wallet skins that only activate with their token.
Ooh, I like that.
Ooh, that's fancy.
Tokenized skins, you can put in some hex codes into like the op return.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I mean, you can put multiple op returns into a transaction, so yeah, you can do whatever way you want in those.
Yeah, that could be cool.
That could be cool. I like it. Cool. Thank you so much. If you have any last thoughts, feel free. But thank you for your time.
Hey, no sweat. I guess for anyone who's not got a wallet yet, who's watching the stream, which seems unlikely, most people I think here would probably already be into the crypto stuff. But go try out our wallet, wallet.bitcoin.com. Try out the new Send Anywhere feature. Send some money to your friends, your family. Try the new gift feature too, which you can actually send a Christmas gift or a New Year's gift or a birthday gift kind of thing. Give out a little bit of Bitcoin cash to your friends, and if they're stupid and don't take the money, then you can sweep it back. And I think it's a great way to kind of tell people that crypto is getting easier, and maybe around the Thanksgiving and Christmas time, it's like a good opportunity to kind of tell them that their money is probably going to be devalued as the private banks are printing more. And if you're going to be the crazy kid or the crazy person at the dinner table telling people that their money's all garbage and fake, then maybe show them a better option. And I think the Bitcoin Cash with the Send Anywhere feature is a great opportunity to kind of show them how easy it is and how this stuff's getting easier and by the day. And in terms of new users being able to just send and receive, it's becoming less complicated. And with any luck, a little bit more hard work from our team and the wider cryptocurrency market, I think we'll have a good chance at giving fiat a run for its money and giving some of these like more custodial type solutions like a better run for the money. It'll be good.
Yeah, for sure. One last question I accidentally ignored. How do you get your token icon in your wallet?
Yeah, easy. So you can actually go to mint.bitcoin.com. If your token isn't, if you mint your token there, you can actually upload the photo there. If they haven't been uploaded using that way, there's also like a submit token icon area in the menu there. And then alternatively as well, I think there is also a support link where you can just email, I want to say it's icons@bitcoin.com. And you'll just need to provide like a 512 by 512 PNG file, and we'll pop it in there. I know that kind of drives some people a little bit bonkers, but yeah, we you know, because we're a company that's focused on profit, we do have to make sure that like token icons aren't going to be the thing that gets us kicked from the app store. So our fear with like having an unmoderated token icon market is that you'll get some dickhead, and I know they are out there.
Yeah, I remember like the
They'll
second
just
one
end up,
ever.
posting some really garbage, icons where it's like, yeah, you get a dick token, or you get a who knows, and we don't want a dick token in our wallet. We don't want, our app is rated G, so we don't really want our app to be suddenly rated R, or getting us in trouble by Apple or Google. And yeah, so yeah, we moderate the token icons. I know there's like I think JT, or is it JT or Costs? Someone's got another token repo where you can submit some stuff to as well. But yeah, the mint.bitcoin.com. If you use that, then your token icon will, after being moderated, it should show up on Explorer, and it should show up in the wallet as well.
So much for inclusiveness.
I know we're ultra hardcore censors here, but like,
Yeah,
I encourage
permissionless money. Jesus Christ.
That's it. I mean, I'm gonna blame the SLP protocol. If they had added a token icon standard into the thing, then we could have just built it to that. So instead we had to build our own. But I think
yeah, I just want some titty coin in my wallet.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some pretty I'm sure there's some pretty bad ones out there.
There's a lot of pickles in 512 by 512.
That's it. I think at the end of the day, though, we're trying to do better on the moderation side of stuff, to like let the good ones in, as long as it's not creating like confusion for the new user. Like something we saw for a little while during that DeFi bubble with like Yearn and pickles and all this other stuff is like, as soon as people were making money in DeFi, the increase in like scam SLP tokens that were created that were like trying to impersonate tokens, and then like who knows what they were trying to do, but without a doubt there was like some scammers that were very cleverly trying to be like, yeah, you can have some uni on SLP, and then who knows, maybe they were actually doing trades or trying to do trades with it.
Right.
Had they gotten that icon into our wallet, maybe they could have, scammed some people with that. So yeah, anything that's like remotely a risk of like confusing users or, mildly inappropriate, we're probably going to deny. And, it doesn't stop you from sending the SLP and using our wallet to send your, goofy shitcoin, but you're just not going to have an icon.
Word. Okay. Thank you so much, Corbin. It was great talking to you today. It was a good time, fun time.
Yeah, it was good to catch up with you, man. We'll do this again sometime.
Yes, please do. Please do. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. Okay. You have a good day. It's like almost midnight here, but it's like,
yeah, you go get some rest, man.
It's like 10 a.m. there.
We'll get tucked in by the gal.
Sounds good. Sounds nice.
All right, man.
All right. Thank you so much, Corbin.
You guys have a good one.